Hello and welcome. My name is Isaac Mashman, founder of Mashman Ventures, and today I'm going to be sharing how personal branding can help you in hard economic times. It is no question that economies fluctuate. They go up, they go down. You have bull markets, you have bear markets, you have words like depression, recession floating all around, and that's never going to change. As long as there is an economy, as long as there is money, there is always going to be a fluctuation. But the one thing that will always exist, that has existed from the very first man, Adam and Eve, is personal branding. Today, I want to talk to you about and give you a couple different examples, really, how you can leverage personal branding to either A, land a job, B, be known as a public figure, or C, how you can leverage what I call internal marketing. Let's dive right in. Now, I want to start with an example. That is Elon Musk, Twitter, Tesla, PayPal. You have Mark Cuban. You have Barbara Corcoran. You have Lori Greiner. You have Kevin O'Leary. The entire concept of Shark Tank isn't revolving around entrepreneurs pitching deals. The idea of Shark Tank revolves around having successful entrepreneurs, successful personal brands come in, make investments, and because of their previous accolades and success, you have a feeling that that deal is going to work out. That no matter what Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, attaches his name to, is going to be successful. There's a reason why for Mashman Ventures, we chose to work with personal brands and not companies. It is because the face of companies will always be the person who goes on Fox News or CNN whenever there's a crisis and talks, who gets interviewed, who delivers speeches and shares details, who goes out and shakes hands. Now, there are obviously levels to this. There are also going to be maybe some very broad statements that I make, but at the end of the day, all of the things that I'm saying remain true. Now, if you're watching this, you may or may not be involved with business. You might be somebody who wants to land a new job in a looming recession. You want to land a new career opportunity when everybody else is getting laid off. The answer? Building your personal brand. You see, your personal brand is you. It is who you are. You've always had your personal brand, and for a deeper look, I would suggest picking up a copy of my book, available on Amazon. Now, here's the thing. There are tons of people who are always going to be looking to get a new opportunity. You're entering into this competitive job market, and when times get tough, companies need to make sure that they're maximizing their dollar. They're maximizing their investment back into their workforce, right? And so if you're thinking about, how can I portray myself as the person, the ideal candidate, so to speak? It is leveraging your personal brand. Did you know that according to research done by Zippia.com, 93% of employers in 2023 are looking at their potential candidates' social media? A couple years ago, that number was 70%. The farther you go back, less and less companies were relying on social media to make hiring decisions. But according to that same research, 54% of employers have also rejected a candidate because of that person's social media. So if you're posting things that might go against what that company stands for, you have to realize you are a representation of that brand, of that business. You're going to be let go or not even hired in the first place. Now, the other thing that you can be doing, for example, I want to not only give you kind of the blanket, this is what you need to do, but also some strategies here. For example, getting on LinkedIn, getting endorsements, listing your skills, taking the skill assessments, going on Instagram and posting videos and things that are aligning with your career, sharing your life experiences, letting them in on who you are. They don't want to just hire the professional. They want to hire the person that they know is going to represent them in and out of the office. Now, going into the second part, which is the person who is building the business, the forward-facing executive, the forward-facing CEO. This is where you need to be portraying yourself as a public figure. You need to be the person who is the 1% of professionals. So it's no secret that during harder economic times, there is going to be less expendable income. People are less prone, less likely to start taking risks when compared to a bull market. And so knowing that fact and that people are holding on to their hard-earned penny, they're going to want to work with the top 1%. They're going to want to work with the top performers, not the bottom of the barrel, lackluster, C-list choices. And these are things that, should appear as common sense, but are oftentimes overlooked, and you might not know where to apply it into your own life and your own business. And so this is where you need to come in as that public figure and start representing your business. You could be an author, you could be a speaker, you could be in network marketing, you could be the forward-facing business owner and CEO and executive, or you can very simply be a consultant or one-off person, a solopreneur that has a skill set that is running a business, or as, an independent contractor, but that doesn't change the fact that you need to be portraying yourself as that authority. People don't want to work with the person that is finding themselves. They want to work with the person that is reliable, trusted, vetted, verifiable, has testimonials, etc. So what you can do to start changing the narrative around your name and building out your personal brand as that person, as that authority, is to, number one, define what you want to be known as. So for myself, for example, you have the personal side where I am a huge coffee addict. I like traveling. I like bicycling. I am a huge fan of Lord of the Rings and the Harry Potter series. And I am a huge history buff as well. That's something that I've started picking up quite a bit in recent months. And then on the professional side, I am the founder of a public relations firm. I specialize in helping people create, maintain, and scale unrivaled personal brands. I have other businesses, Mashman Investments and Mashman Properties. I have other endeavors. I'm an author, and I'm working on building my monopoly of an empire. And so for you, if you were to get asked that today, could you give a 30-second elevator pitch? If you can't, you need to reevaluate where you are, because if you can't define it, how can somebody else define it, right? So step number one is to identify what you want to be known as. Step number two is to start doing things that are going to be boosting your authority, your credibility, and your trust online, such as creating content about your skill set. You can be getting across multiple social media channels and building an omnipresent brand. You can also be getting into the press and nurturing relationships and asking for testimonials, asking for video testimonials from previous clients. If you are a speaker, take some of the film and some of the B-roll from your speaking events and turn it into a vlog. Show who you are and make sure that at the end of the day, people know that you are the number one source when a particular question or problem arises. They think, oh, I need help with my personal brand. Let me call up Isaac Mashman. Let me call up Mashman Ventures, because you are the representation of your business. You are the representation of your profession. And in hard economic times, knowing that money is not as flexible, people are going to want to be certain and not have second guesses about who they just paid, about what invoice they just cleared. So the final example that I'm going to share with you today on how personal branding can help you in hard economic times is to leverage what I call internal marketing. Now, this is to the business owner that might be a little bit more established, that already has a team, that already has employees or independent contractors, or even the startup that has a smaller team that is just getting going. Now, a lot of times we think of external marketing tactics, running advertisements, putting out calls to action on social media, doing more traditional approaches, right? Like billboards and television and radio, or even podcast sponsorships, right? All of those are external marketing efforts. But what about at home base? What about internally? What about inside your company? Now, at this point, you may or may not have realized that every single person that works for you, every single person that is associated with you has a personal brand. And if you're building a team, wouldn't you want that team to take pride in their workplace? Wouldn't you want them to enjoy what they do in their organization, and even during the hard times know that they're not being forgotten about or left behind? Now, think about the social media manager that is overworked, underpaid, hates what they have going on, and gets asked the question, hey, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a social media manager. Okay, cool. Versus the person who exists in that organization that is thriving and takes pride in what they do, who gets asked the question, what do you do? Oh, I'm a social media manager at Mashman Ventures, and it's a public relations firm, and it's pretty good. And then they get asked the following question, and the question after that, and the question after that, and come to find out the person that they are networking with is actually in search for the service that her firm provides. This is why, if you're building a business and you have a team, why don't you offer referral incentives? Why don't you incentivize the people who are already close to you and know that you guys are a great company to spread the word, talk to their friends and family, right? You do business with people that you know, like, and trust, people and family, family and friends. You would start there idealistically, right? That is internal marketing. And that is something that more and more corporations are beginning to realize, because the dinosaurs, the people that are going extinct, were too late to the game to realize that those people that weren't getting paid for overtime and all this other stuff, they're telling their friends and family about how crappy that company is, versus the newcomers, the people like you and I, the forward thinkers, who are saying, man, I want my people to take pride. And this also helps you outside of growing your business, just establishing longevity in your team and really having great successful reviews on Glassdoor when people leave, right? You got to think about that aspect as well, employer branding. And so talking about how personal branding can help you in hard economic times, we have number one, the person who is looking to land a job, who is leveraging their social media presence. You have number two, the person who is the public figure, who is letting people know about what they do, who's creating content and really that trusted, vetted source that when somebody has the question or the problem, they go immediately to that person. And finally, we have personal branding for businesses. It's talking about internal marketing and leveraging the team and the community that they have already established inside of the organization. Regardless of the economic cycles, we all know that it's going to come and go. You're going to have fear mongering. You're going to have all of these different things. That personal branding is going to be the one thing that you can rely on that doesn't cost anything extra. Might take, a couple percent for a referral bonus, whatever it might be. But it is the thing that you could start with today, because you will always have a personal brand. The people around you will always have a personal brand. And that word of mouth, regardless of social media, is kind of at the very top of all this, no? So with that being said, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I am Isaac Mashman, founder of Mashman Ventures. Make sure to hit that like button, the share button, the subscribe button, follow the page, click on another video, all of that good stuff. And make sure to stay tuned for more personal branding content coming very soon. Much love.